you love the vibes, come and lock in with us for real.
World boss, leave a prison could stop me.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Practice. God, me say you watch you over me practice.
How do I say goodbye?
There are some words we never get the chance to say, and some memories that deserve to live on. Now you can honor your loved one in a deeply personal way with our 5-minute feature, Tributes. Share your message in your own voice. Let your words tell their story of love, legacy, and remembrance. Your tribute will be professionally produced and aired on radio and our social media platforms, while your loved one's image is beautifully displayed on our live stream, creating a moment that family and friends can share together.
Smile, though your heart is aching.
Whether it's a father, mother, sibling, or dear friend, celebrate their life, their impact, and the memories that will never fade. Speak from the heart. We'll help you bring it to life. Contact us today at 876-630-1210 with your tribute.
Like a comet blazing across the evening sky, gone too soon.
The news cycle doesn't end on Friday. It needs perspective. That's why every Sunday at midday, Nationwide 90 FM presents The Week That Was. A clear, informed review of the top stories that shaped the past week, what really mattered and what lies ahead. No noise, no theatrics, just analysis, context, and clarity. The Week That Was. Sundays at 12 p.m. Understand the news before the week begins. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Welcome to another episode of our Sunday News and Current Affairs program, The Week That Was. This is where we review the major stories that shaped the past week and take an informed look at what lies ahead. Now, if you want to understand the news, not just consume it, then this is the program for you. I'm Rodney Campbell, and joining me in studio for us to analyze the major stories of the week, the veteran, the 55-year... No,
it's not 55, sir. With due respect, I'm not that old. Oh. I'm not from antiquity.
I see. I just was told earlier that you actually went to school with Marcus Garvey. But what we'll do is we look at last week's news cycle, and this was dominated by matters of government, the impact of the crisis in the Middle East, and of course, sporting issues. Mahiri Stewart gives us this look.
The opposition PNP's assertion that a crisis is emerging as a result of the shortcomings with the government's restoration of owner or occupant family shelters ROOFS program ranks fourth on our list this week. ROOFS is a $10 billion initiative that offers financial assistance to people whose homes were damaged by the hurricane. According to the government, it has paid out just over $100 million to people whose homes had moderate damage, $2.3 billion to those with major damage, and $2.7 billion to households with severe damage. However, opposition leader Mark Golding claims ROOFS is being poorly handled.
Things were appearing to be on track for recovery. However, that time has passed, and the glaring gaps in Jamaica's response to the disaster have been laid bare. The government's primary program for addressing the shelter crisis occasioned by Hurricane Melissa, the ROOFS program, is hopelessly inadequate and is being incompetently administered.
World Athletics bombshell ruling blocking 11 athletes, including 4 Jamaicans, from switching allegiance to Turkey is third. The 4 Jamaicans who applied for Turkish citizenship are Olympic discus champion and record holder Roger Stoner, Olympic shot put bronze medalist Rajendra Campbell, Olympic long jump silver medalist Wayne Pinnock, and world junior triple jump record holder Jadon Hibbert. The panel from Track and Field's world governing body ruled that Turkey's approach to athlete recruitment erodes the credibility of national representation by turning allegiance into something you can simply buy. The 11 athletes can continue living and training in Turkey, but they cannot represent the country in international competition. Second on our list is the passing of legendary Jamaican musician Ernie Smith. The 80-year-old singer-songwriter died Thursday night in Miami after suffering a cardiac event. Smith is known for his easy listening delivery, ruling the airwaves during the 1970s. His hits include Pitter Patter, Duppy Gunman, Life is Just for Living, I for Jesus, and Sunday Morning Coming Down.
Well, it must be a Duppy or a gunman. I man not find out yet. I and I so frightened. All the daughter name I forget. Well, it must be a Duppy or a gunman. I never stopped to see. Quarry was a boy to I man last night. Him couldn't follow, him couldn't follow, him couldn't follow me.
And the top story last week is the warning that the country may see a return to work from home arrangements due to increased fuel prices brought on by the prolonged crisis in the Middle East. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz says this is one of the conservation strategies being considered.
My words to you, Jamaica, is definitively we are going to see increases as long as this continues. We will do what we can do, but it is important that you do what you need to do to understand that you need to conserve. Starting today, government is going to have to look at policies to limit movements, especially transportation movements. I don't know, Minister Dixon, I don't know whether or not we go back to a COVID hybrid version of working from home, but something has to happen.
He says Cabinet is also considering a revised pricing model.
Let me be blatantly, truthfully, upfront, in your face. The government of Jamaica cannot stomach $11.8 billion with all of what we have to do and the contending priorities. And anybody who tell you any different, I'm sure they will, after this press conference, rubbish. No government in a situation like this can sustain that.
Fuel is already running out in Europe. The International Energy Agency has warned that Europe may only have 6 weeks of jet fuel left.
Thank you very much, Mahiri Stewart. Very well put together. So we'll take a deep dive into this segment that we call the Week in Review. First of all, Durant, you've seen our top picks. You like the order? Is there anything you think should have been replaced? What do you think about the picks?
No, in general, I don't have a problem with the order. I think for the most part, those are the dominant stories of the week. But I don't see the reggae girls, though.
I will put that down to the fact that the producer was out very late last night, jumping up and down in the National Stadium, and I think the inclusion of it last minute. But this is for us to also include and say yes.
Okay.
They definitely deserve to be in there.
Okay. And
we see the support, and I believe we're going places.
We are. With the women.
Yeah. Look here. Let's not mention what used to be the reggae boys. So let's start off with the looming fuel crisis, because the implications of that go right across any part of our life in Jamaica, any sector. Is there a way, you think, for us to, as a small nation, right? We have no choice in this, do we?
No, we don't.
Right.
We don't produce oil, we consume oil. And fact of the matter is that we are susceptible to world prices. The best we can do,
external shocks in general.
best we can do is conserve. But on the matter of conservation, I disagree with the suggestion about limiting, restricting movement.
That's Minister Vaz's
Yes,
thing?
regarding returning to a COVID-like
Why?
situation.
Isn't that a practical kind of solution?
No, not containing people's movement, meaning restricting them from going to work.
Right.
What you look at is containment, which yes, but look at the fact that we are in an economic slump. We need aggregate demand. People need to be producing. When you restrict that, you're restricting aggregate demand, you're restricting growth. And bear in mind that the economy is slated to contract this year, I believe, 1 point something or another. Now, if we employ such a measure, we are further contracting the economy.
Yeah, but we have to be very honest with ourselves though, and say, on one side, we need to get things going. On the other side, that need for productivity that we've always talked about,
Yes.
isn't this probably a time that we need to push productivity while suggesting to people things like work at home, the need for productivity to truly be amplified, instead of simply saying, well, if we do it, what we're doing is reducing the possibility of productivity. Productivity needs to be increased no matter what, and I suspect that the move is a temporary move. I don't think we're thinking about 6 months of restriction. This thing can last forever.
But even 3 months of restriction, that will hit the economy badly.
True.
My suggestion is more carpooling, strategic pickup points for these big corporate companies and factories. And there are other consummation measures. For example, public education, people need to be turning off their lights at night. You don't need your light to be on even while they're sleeping. Things of that nature. But a whole-scale lockdown, I don't think is really practical. We need to be going for growth. I do take the point that the number of people in factories don't necessarily equate to productivity. I take that point.
That is
but
true.
the point still should be taken. We need to get our asset churning over more than having them locked up, locked down, and not doing anything.
So there are two things I want to put to you before we leave out of this segment. We don't have a culture of conservation.
No, we don't.
We don't. As a Catholic going to church for many years, it always amazed me that eventually one family with 5 cars, everybody going to the same 10:30 mass, and the 5 cars go, and the 5 cars drive back home. So we've explored things like carpooling and all this. We don't seem to have a culture of conservation. And secondly, whether or not you believe that we now need to engender a culture regionally, so that we can sort of come together and try to solve what we are all going to face with this fuel crisis. Address that culture and what you think needs to be done, and whether or not regional cohesion can actually happen.
Well, let me go to the regional cohesion. I recall reading that there was a plan somewhere probably in the 50s, 60s, whereby like Trinidad would, not Trinidad, I'm trying to remember, there was a plan for Jamaica, which had a petrojam, to be refining oil into petroleum products and exporting to the region. I recall that proposal. I'm saying that is what we need to do, because there is the issue with petrojam where shut it down, invite investors to invest and expand. I'm saying expand, invite investors. We have that asset. which is there, which can be utilized, expanded, and serve the region as a petroleum producing hub.
It's a dangerous game to play now. If you look at several other countries that have had investors,
Yes.
and when these investors decide that they want to call the card,
Yes.
many countries have had to bend. And we need not get into that.
Well, it's a risk we have to
political
take, you know, but we
argument.
can't
Right,
have that valuable asset sitting idly, underutilized, underproducing, where we can invest and have it producing optimally.
I wonder what.
But regarding the conservation, I do take your point. And as it regards cars, that seems, well, not seem, it has been a social prestige. People don't necessarily drive cars for driving sake.
It's not just cars. You mentioned
well,
home.
I'm talking about the
Yeah.
Christian philosophy, the Roman, the Catholic philosophy. It's social prestige.
It's a church philosophy. Everybody go to church.
Well, I'm a church man. I don't have a problem taking the bus. Yes, I do drive, but if I have a better bus service, I'll take the bus.
So, you think we should really, though it is overdue, Minister Vaz, take note, a message of conservation,
yes,
not from JPS alone, because clearly people will bawl about their light bill no matter where it goes. But we don't necessarily have a culture of conservation.
We don't, and I agree.
So whether or not we have this crisis,
yes,
we need to start creating a culture
of
energy conservation,
wholeheartedly,
which makes the point of work from home something more practical. We probably need government ministries to use less, to consume less energy from early in the morning. All these departments, if you have 5 departments open and 9 departments unused at least 3 times a week, maybe, you know.
All right, can I take you back to I think it was the 90s or early 2000s.
I'm not sure I was born.
No, oh, come on. Remember the government of the day introduced a position called the Energy Czar. I think his name was Cecily Sampson, where his mandate was to go in and look at the whole government bureaucracy
system, right? And how to
conserve and reduce electricity there.
I cannot recall it having any great success.
No, it didn't. And here are us 20 years later advocating the same thing. But the culture needs to be inculcated. There's no doubt about it.
Indeed. What's the way to sell it then? We don't need another energy czar. We already have an energy minister. What's the way, the key way to sell it? Summer holidays coming in.
Yes.
And I can promise you, as you well know, once you get the nation's children at home,
and with these techno-savvy kids that we have around,
who are going to live by what's plugged in.
Yes.
So what's that message?
Well, I would say Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. It starts with you.
Yeah.
It starts with you. Look in the mirror and say, what can I do concertedly to reduce my energy in the national interest?
Bridge your use.
Yes.
No bridge your light, bridge your use.
Yeah, I think it starts with the man in the mirror. And I mean, I will admit that I fell down there many times. I mean, I shudder. Sometimes I come home and I totally forget that I left the fan on. Yeah. I left the light on.
No, it behooves me. That's age. That's not conservation.
Yeah.
and maybe instead of you increasing your purchase of TVs, I don't know. Maybe at some point you have to ask yourself, if you have all these devices plugged in that you're not really using, you don't ever really use them.
Yes.
Maybe now's a good time for you to just go around and say, all right, you know what? Let me plug out all of this stuff that I really don't use. 10 different things plugged in.
Yes.
And nobody uses it.
Right. Why do you need, you live with your family, a 3-bedroom house. Why every room must have a TV? Right? Go back to the good olden days where there's a common era.
Somebody just ball out, bad man. No.
That's not. But
I'm
no.
only saying to you, that's part of what makes the message of conservation so difficult. That some people are consumed with consumerism. They need to have it.
Well,
and if you say to them, maybe you need to. Husband and wife can drive in the same car 2 times a week.
Well, if that is the case, I wouldn't say that the government should push this one. Meaning the conservation and the television in 3.
So what you want to sell?
No, I'm just trying to sell in the bad mind.
What you want to sell then is not only conservation,
yes,
but conscience.
Yes.
The understanding that your lifestyle,
yes, is not in the national good.
Not only that, it's not in a community good. So while you continue, even though some people might tell you that we're going down the road of a different kind of ism, to try to appeal to people, because I don't know that it's going to work if you try to demand of people.
Yes.
But be that as it may, now that we've moved out of what's energy, this World Athletic thing, you see, I don't know how to, having attended certain schools that excel in sports, right? And the story about all these leading schools and who, as the term goes, buy athletes and blah, blah, blah to get the advantage. I'm thinking, you know what, let's talk about this. Let's put this on track. See what I did there? Athletics. You slow this morning, boy.
Okay.
We're gonna take the break, and when we come back, we'll try to get this on track, because opportunity is one thing, and getting yourself different citizenship and open to these opportunities. But it appears that somebody has stood in the doorway and said, this appears to be orchestrated for unfair advantage and not necessarily just to provide an opportunity for people. I don't know. But let's take a break and we'll come back with the week that was.
This station raised me. It gave me a voice. And if Nationwide has ever meant something to you, come on in. Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Power in great moments. If you have financial needs, Chris and Charles will fix them for you. Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris and Charles. Oh, we have it all. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Tune in to Cliff Views Online Wednesday, April 22 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce's second annual Anti-Illicit Trade Forum at the AC Marriott in Kingston under the theme Unmasking the Cost, the Financial Impact of Illicit Trade. The forum brings together key stakeholders to examine the economic losses, consumer risk, and threats to legitimate businesses caused by illicit goods. Stay tuned to the live coverage and find out how this growing issue is impacting Jamaica's economy and you. So tune in to Cliff Views Online Wednesday, April 22 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the second annual Anti-Illicit Trade Forum at the AC Marriott in Kingston. Catch this on our live stream at Nationwide 90 FM Live and keep your station locked to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
So, you know, it's a good thing that we took this break because now, finally, we have beauty adorning this panel with the entrance of a former Miss World, financial journalist, founder and CEO of Money Media, Kalila Reynolds.
Hey.
Hi, Kalila.
Hey, good to see you, Rodney.
It's been a long time since you and I have sat in the same space.
It's been a minute, yeah.
Yeah, you're making too much money in media.
Hey.
Oh, okay. So you walked in pretty much while we were ready to get into or put on track this issue of the 11 athletes and this whole Turkish thing, you know. What are your views on it? I put you right there on the spot as you walk in.
No, I don't see anything wrong with the athletes wanting to switch allegiance. It's unfortunate that they weren't granted that opportunity. Jamaica, as we all know, produces some of the best talent in the world when it comes to sports and athletics. But unfortunately, although the talent is here, many of them aren't able to monetize that talent appropriately here.
True.
And so if you need to seek a living somewhere else, then go for it, I say.
But isn't it fair? And what we've seen, all of our athletes were top shelf. So it's not some third-rate athletes. These are triple jumpers, long jumper, shot put up, top of the line. Some would say, but look how many of our athletes have pretty much stayed here and have made lucrative livings as top performers. Why not stay and get the benefit?
So, but when you look at Roger Stoner, for example, this is an Olympic gold medalist. And he's struggling, an Olympic gold medalist struggling in Jamaica.
Achieved, yeah.
Has already achieved the heights of achievement in his sport. Somebody like that should not be struggling. Where is corporate Jamaica? Where is the support for an athlete like that? If he is having trouble making a living, then do what you gotta do, youth.
Fair.
But my point though,
Gerard,
as with world athletics, they're trying to preserve the integrity of the sport. And it needs to be protected. It's not a commodity whereby I, as a country, because I can buy the world's best, I buy it and portray them in national colors. That's not protecting the integrity of the sport. However, I do take the point. They need to earn, they need to live. So it now behooves nationals to invest, governments to invest in the talent that they have to keep them there. But with the case of,
in spite of that,
but with this current case,
competitive is competitive.
If you assess the ruling carefully, it's not, World Athletics is not saying that you cannot buy, you cannot encourage, you cannot bring over,
facilitate.
But when you have 11 across the globe that you deliberately entice them to come and don your colors, it's not really protecting the integrity of the sport. It's not.
Because if we are to be forward thinking, one would imagine that in the next few months we would be looking at a Turkish team with possibly 40 of the best across the board.
Yes.
So you're saying, and see if I have this right, it's not about athletes being given opportunities to represent, because remember, even if Jamaica offers them the world, you're free to go wherever you want.
Yes.
But you think that the Turkish people are going around sort of hand-picking and enticing compared to the athlete who is making choices. The athlete used to, I think, shop around. And now Turkish run-ins is, let's go to the market and outbid any possibility because we want to front load our team. That's not just about the integrity of the sport though.
Yes.
But that seems
underhand.
It seems a bit. And you're opening a door, you're opening a very serious door. Now you're asking other countries who have that finance to say, oh.
But what I wonder though on the Turkish behalf, right? What is the objective? Does that instill any national pride in Turkish people? Because for us,
Olympics 2028.
Maybe it's without any cost.
For Jamaicans, right? For Jamaicans, we still root for our athletes regardless of which country they're running for, representing.
That is true.
So even if they go represent Turkey, we still count that as a medal for Jamaica.
But remember,
but for Turkey, for them to have athletes from other countries who clearly weren't born there or raised there, have no allegiance whatsoever. How is that a win in the hearts of the Turkish people? Like, what does that do for you?
Here's this question.
When they get the Olympic gold medal, that is what counts for them.
Hold on,
but why does it count? What makes it count?
Because you can...
all right. Right before we joined by my friend, before I go to him, just imagine for a second, Khalila. You've made the team and you've been promised something. And they send for Durant to come and do the very same sport you're doing. And they said to Durant, we'll give you $1 million. They take him from Jamaica and carry him over there. And I offer him the world, 5-star living. And you've been on the team 10 years. Struggling.
Mm-hmm.
No problem that.
Yeah.
Because though he's now given nationality, you did it, you're born and grow there, and you can't get the opportunity. And I tell you, say, stand up at airport and put up a sign, Durant.
I support the Jamaican athletes, but on their part,
yeah,
clearly you have money, right? If you have the money, why not invest in your local sports?
I'm with you.
If you have these millions of dollars to be paying athletes, invest in your local sports that in 10 years, the next crop can be winning.
Let me move.
But that's not my problem.
No, it's not our circus. We're moving nicely in this, We're moving out of sports now and going into a different kind of arrangement. My friend, criminologist and forensic reconstruction expert, Dr. Jason Mackay. How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I see you attacking the Turks.
No. Look here. I'm a fan of Turkey in November.
Yeah.
So, and it's a beautiful country though. But now that we have you on, I have to start remembering all these titles that you keep adding on, Forensic reconstruction expert. Is what, at crime scene?
Well, I've been doing forensics long before I was doing criminology, That's actually how I started off.
Right.
But back in the days of Brayton and Seven and all of those cases, I was a reconstruction expert for the defense.
Reasonable. But I like the way it sounds, It's the man not crime scene expert. He's a forensic reconstruction expert. All right, so you know where we're going with this, and I want it said from early, and I'm here with Khalila and Durant. I want it said that even though the context of this conversation starts with Big Wall, I'm sure our discussion is not going to keep us restricted within one given incident. So let me do the roll on this, and I'll get back to you shortly. Another major story that dominated the news cycle last week was the shooting at the Big Wall event, that soca party at the Randy Williams Entertainment Center last Sunday, I think. The shooting took place during a physical altercation between a vlogger, Jay Frey, and men reportedly attached to the entourage of entertainer 450. And this, I think Javi, a music producer, is a part of 450's crew. So, back to you, Jason Mackay. I'm trying to figure out, first and foremost, how do we end up with a nice party going on and guns in a party blazing? What's the first thing that we can say automatically that fell down in this?
Well, I don't believe that alcohol and guns really work together very well, That could have been a factor. And then hooliganism is another thing, To me, this was a matter where there was an entourage, and there tends to be hooliganism involved in these entourages. And then, it takes it from there. There's a licensed firearm, there's an illegal firearm. All the settings for mass shooting.
So the core to this is a lax and a lack where security structures and systems are concerned. Then.
Well, I'm not sure if there is an actual rule or law that prohibits firearms in an event like this. I mean, when you see firearms barred from the stadium, it's the international body that has certain rules that doesn't allow firearms to be in there. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know of any law in Jamaica which bars a firearm holder to be in an event which is like a musical event or a concert or so on.
Yeah, I mean, they put up the signs, no weapons allowed. But I don't know that when you go in there and see 6 security guards in an area and they say, oh, come over here and we'll secure your firearm. You can't take a firearm and put it in the hands of somebody else.
No, man, well, it used to be pretty normal practice where security companies like mine would rent you an armored truck and police would be involved.
Police would be involved, right.
But under this new gun bill, I'm not 100% sure that system can work. Nowadays, when I see it done, FLA is directly involved. So, and it is, I don't think every single event can afford to get FLA there taking licensed firearm guns. So on. That's not logical.
And it would mean, of course, that somebody would have to provide the law, because you can't. I don't believe that you can simply restrict people on the basis of, well, we just don't think this should happen.
No, you can restrict you based on the fact that it's your event.
Right.
If you don't want any firearms in your event, then you have autonomy.
Right.
So then patrons should just be aware of the risk then? So the onus is on the patrons to be aware that, listen, this is an event where
maybe guns,
firearms may be allowed, maybe guns may be there, may not be there. If they're not actively checking at the gates, then that's something that you need to keep in the back of your mind as a patron.
Well, I mean, I think that we need to move towards getting the law involved. Because I don't think that we should be allowing firearms into events and clubs and so on. It's time we start to modify our acts to include places like that they shouldn't have firearms in. I think
it sounds like you're saying firearm holders probably shouldn't go. The flip side of what you're saying, is that maybe firearm holders shouldn't go to clubs and shouldn't go to parties.
But the issue isn't only with the legal firearm holders, though. It's the illegal guns that come in.
But my point, though, just like sporting event, and as Dr. Mackay just mentioned, that guns and alcohol should not be in the same place. There should just be some regulation that restricts firearm at these entertainment events. Full stop. One, if you are going to go there, leave your firearm at home or deposit it at the nearest police station and retrieve it after you have entertained yourself. It's simple as that. It's a shortcoming which has now shown its face, and we now need to regulate
I'm with Dr. Mackay on the provision of an armored car with police regulating it for security of guns, because it sounds wonderful to say that you leave your gun run at one part. The party to wherever that gun is it's not as easy as one would imagine, right? You don't have a firearm and shouldn't have a firearm for it to be simply left at home or whatever while you go enjoy yourself. So, as I said,
when I say left at home, I don't mean it's
I know, but Dr. Mackay, you're making a point, because I'm saying to you that it's almost as if we're flipping it and saying maybe licensed firearm holders should avoid events with alcohol, events with large crowds. I don't know. It
kind of defeats the purpose of having a firearm, a licensed firearm.
A licensed firearm is not for everywhere. You can't carry it to
in a national stadium.
You can't carry it to the airport. You can't carry it to the stadium. So why should you be able to carry it to a club?
Exactly.
Well, all right. If I'm with you there, though, what? When we have innocent people, and I'm saying this for anything, innocent bystanders, patrons who end up being shot, as somebody in this whole thing ended up being, who is it that gets the lawsuit? In other words, the party promoter gets a lawsuit. Does the security company providing security also get a lawsuit?
It can happen, but it depends on what was the offer made by the promoter when you come to this party. If the party is supposed to be a no weapons event, and then you end up getting shot in there, then there's a problem. If no such proclamation was made, then you have to go to the reasonable assertion that you should be safe inside of a venue. But then when there's a licensed firearm holder shoot you, then probably that will even stand. So it's not a black and white issue.
Look here, Dr. Mackay. You know the way our minds work, so I'm going to carry you down that road. It's almost a ridiculous road, but it's a realistic road. Guns are not the only weapons. So, it is imagined that one would not have guns if your security thing set up right. You don't have guns in there, you don't have knives, machetes, what have you in there. Any buckler weapon, you know.
It wasn't a weapon it wasn't a weapon that the promoter told you not to carry.
No. I'm saying to you, is it good for us then to best sit down and try to sterilize parties, which says instead of us giving the patrons the 5 bottles of Hennessy, because when man start drink and get rowdy, man take bottle and use as weapon. Is it now that you
can't get bottles at the stadium? When you go to the stadium, then you can't get the bottles.
So should party promoters then, to save themselves from any of these incidents being facilitated, maybe them need for just start say, well, you say one Hennessy and Red Bull and pour it and give you in a
at
cup.
some events, that's what they do. Exactly what they do at some events. You don't get a bottle.
You'd support it?
I don't think we're there yet in terms of clubs, but they're like when you go to stage shows where they used to throw the shandy bottle at the stage.
Oh yeah.
They stopped giving out bottles at stage.
We got rid of that problem, boy, and that was the youngsters. A lot of them now don't remember.
Shandy bottle.
Yeah man. Yeah man. Out Coney Park.
Right.
Yeah man.
And other places.
Oh you
think.
No. You should really be sitting in here, Dr. Mackay, and see Durant looking at me like Coney Park, as if. Don't worry. Durant.
No, I remember.
Oh, you remember?
Montego Bay incident.
Okay. I think Ninja Man did a song. Border Clash was held at Coney Park.
Yes. No, we're not talking.
You're too young, man.
And then they say I was told.
It never fling at one event. You fling at every event.
So, what's the last word you give to party promoters and patrons generally? What's that core message that you want people to follow, so we don't keep seeing these kind of things happening random?
Don't make any sense to carry firearms into a venue that is of no purpose to you. You cannot shoot anybody in a club. You're going to end up shooting innocent people. So it doesn't make any sense you carry it there. If you're that worried, stay home.
If you feel that at risk, allow the crowd.
Well, because if you have to carry a firearm in there, then all you're doing is endangering other members of the public.
Indeed. All right, so we're going to take a break. Thank you very much, criminologist and forensic reconstruction expert, Dr. Jason Mackay, for joining us. Very interesting days ahead. We should follow this case, in particular. Coming up, we're going to look at winners and losers the week that was. Soon come.
The vibes, the laughs, and the real talk, then you're one of us. Don't just listen, belong. Join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon.
Every great project starts at Creative Building Finishes, Jamaica's only choice for the best tiles, best bathrooms, and best kitchens. Whether you're designing, building, renovating, or selecting materials for your next project, we offer exceptional quality, standout designs, and expert guidance you can trust. Visit our showroom in Kingston or Draxall, or explore full range online at www.creativebuildingfinishes.com. Creative Building Finishes, your beautiful finish begins here.
Welcome back. So we look at the winners and the losers of this week. And Kalila, I will give you the first run at it.
All right.
Where do you want to start? You want to start at your winners or your losers?
I'll start with the winner.
Go right.
So I'll say Carnival in Jamaica was a winner this week.
Wow.
Despite the shooting. What, you have the same
that's
thing?
That's my winner.
That's your winner too?
Carnival 2026.
Listen.
Winner by volume, crowd.
Well, let me explain.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit biased because I participated in Carnival this year for the first time.
Former Miss World.
For the first time since 2013, I believe. So it's just my second Carnival. And just to see the strides, all the dramatic level of improvement that has happened to the Carnival product, the level of competition that there is between the bands. Because when I did it 2013, there was only Bacchanal Jamaica.
That was
now
it,
there's Yardmas, there's Exodus, there's Gen X, you have the competition, you have the people who are coming in, the winning for the tourism product, to people who are experiencing Jamaica for the first time because they were attracted by this particular event. It was a winner for the economy because you have that economic multiplier. You have all the hairdressers, the barbers, the cook shops, the street vendors, the DJs, the promoters, so many different people.
Economic success.
So many people
success.
eat a food off a carnival. And then it's a winner for people like me who attend just to have a good time. You end up having a good time for, a day or a few days, depending on how many events you decide to attend. I said Carnival was a big winner, despite, the incident that happened at Big Wall.
All right. Loser? Or let me take, go with the winner.
My winner, Carnival.
Carnival. So you both agree?
Yes, Carnival. One, we'd have picked up the lessons learned from last year. Last year, Carnival left the streets of Kingston as a dump. We didn't see that this year. They learned, and if you recall, the KSAMC said that they would not issue any permit unless they ensure that they had some system in place for the cleanup afterwards.
All right. I'll go with your loser then, and then come back to Kalila for the loser.
No, but I never finished with Jamaica Carnival.
Oh, I thought you had swept the street.
No.
Okay,
I didn't. I observe from the sideline. I'm not one of those who is going to be done in the skimpy outfit and exposing my dainty body. So I just sit on the sideline and observe.
I just got a visual.
The minister mentioned about 7 point. He said the numbers are still being crunched, but economic benefit to the amount of almost $8 billion. $8 billion. They mentioned about the number of participants this year, the bands. So yes, Carnival was an absolute winner. I hear them talking about exporting the product. I hear them talking about going into other townships with Carnival. So yeah, huge success. My loser, the death of Ernie Smith. I mean, that baritone voice. That's a man I grew up with, listening his music.
Yeah.
And
I was telling Desmond earlier, sound better live than even recorded. That means Man Pluto era.
Duppy Gunman was my favorite. But after his death, I did some reading and certain things I did not know. You know that RJR should be credited for his musical journey. He actually went to RJR to apply stroke audition as a radio announcer. And they turned him back.
Yeah.
Really?
And he
With
went
that
to
voice?
Federal Records, which is now Tough Gang, did an audition, and that's the start of his musical journey. Also, one of my favorite was Pluto Sherbiton, Rambo. He was the one that inspired that song, because on his way to Federal Guards, he observed a minibus hitting down a goat. And someone was saying, boy, ram goat liver good for make money short. A curry goat for your daughter. You make your daughter laugh. I loved it. I mean, I am really, really saddened.
We're missing icons. Khalida, could you hear a little?
It's quite obvious to me, Javi and 450. That incident that they were.
That Jeffrey, Javi, Riri.
Yeah.
That's the loser.
It's the loser.
Something that literally took away an entire carnival success with one little dose of carelessness.
And let me just add this. So the innocent bystander who was injured is my good friend. And he had surgery Sunday, Friday.
Yeah.
So
hopefully... The elbow into the armpit.
The arm, the bicep.
Yeah. So I hear there's possible nerve thing. We do here, the whole of nationwide, and Jamaica is with you, I promise you. And I wish not just a successful surgery, but recuperation throughout and minimal damage down the road. We really want you to get back to, So, let's get into the week and the week to come. What we're looking for in this week to come.
Well, on the business front, we have the Omni IPO, which just launched on Friday.
I haven't heard
No,
that.
sorry, not
I haven't
Omni.
heard Omni.
It's
Qantas.
Hold on, I was just going to say, I don't hear Omni in a long time.
I don't know why Omni came to mind. Qantas.
Qantas, yeah.
Right, so Qantas, well, Durant, you follow business news as well. So Qantas IPO, that's a company led by Dr. Adrian Stokes, formerly of Scotiabank. They do investing they invest in various businesses, and it seems like a decent opportunity. I haven't read through the full thing yet, so I can't give an opinion on it, but that seems like something interesting to pay attention to in the next week to come, because it opens next week.
It opened this week.
Today Sunday,
It opened this week. $2.5 billion
And
they're seeking.
That's from your economic and financial mindset. Outside of that, because I know you're well rounded, what else do you think we should be looking for? I know we're at a point looking at the impact of this Middle East madness and whether or not, we should be expecting changes, whether these changes are regulated changes or functional changes, structural changes. You think you're looking forward to hearing, or not even looking forward to, we're hoping gas prices take time and go on more than run.
Oh yeah, because the Strait of Hormuz was reopened. So we said, yes, we're going to get some reprieve. And then they close it back 24 hours later. It's quite a mess.
Teasing, somebody playing games, man.
It's quite a mess.
But that's pretty much you're looking forward to that IPO going up and then
seeing what the result is, if they're able to raise the money, because as you know, in recent times, some companies have had some difficulty raising a level of funds, and it's 2.something billion.
We'll talk one day. You and I will talk about the saturation of IPOs. But Durant,
the weekend I'm looking for the conundrum at University Hospital. It's an implosion waiting to happen.
It not imploded. It's not obvious to you that the bomb has gone off.
There's much more to be unfolded. That's why I termed it that way. I hear some things, but I don't have the wherewithal to interrogate. So I allow the PAC to do its job.
Well, a part of that I suspect, and that is where, that's what I really want to look forward to. I'm hoping, though, that in this week coming and any other week coming, that we'll start to hear something other than, I'm not really... I don't have that information now, but I promise to get back to you. I'm hoping that these committees, every time we watch them, that somebody collectively will sit down and say, them are going to ask you this next week. So I could carry the information go. Instead of, no, we don't have it. I promise you, Mr. Chairman, next week, no. Carry what need for carry. I beg of you. And tell us where this mess, because this is not last year's mess. This is a long time coming, and more than I head for roll. Whole heap I head for roll. But hey, what do I know? We're just bystanders at the carnival. All right, so I think we're going to get into a thing called, if Damien tell me now, it's final analysis. All right, Damien, shoot it. Final analysis. All right, so this final analysis is parties, protocols, and pistols. So cool. Now, I don't wish to pass any judgment, declare innocence or guilt, or become a part of a court of public opinion on this big wall incident, right? There are way too many armchair experts and veranda virtuosos out there for me to wade into this washing machine of Riri. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you exactly what happened. But what I can tell you is how these kinds of moments and incidents tend to happen and how they can be prevented. Since it's quite obvious that we're not seeking to address garrison parties and the possibility of gang activities and reprisals, we should be somewhat cognizant that these uptown events also now seem to have similar playing fields. Additionally, we should also and always factor in laxing systems and ever-present testosterone tendencies of the ego. Sadly, we might need to see a sort of CN Tower type security measures placed in party entrances and exits to ensure that all who plan to enjoy themselves face the same circumstances. It might also mean a lack of trust for patrons, and the revered bottle service might be reduced to paper cups only. Well, party promoters need to remember that where the buck stops, especially if a war can stop you earning bucks. In every planning meeting, ensure your security for the venue is not only personnel packed but safety intact. Last, I must tell you, prepare properly for the typical entourage or the mantourage that follow these personalities and crews that arrive. You can't afford to be overwhelmed and then be unaware. And even though you make mistakes and poor choices, a word to the wise, again, is sufficient. All right, so it sounds like I eat that, you know. I think so. Yeah, I think we must just pack it up, pack it in. But, my dear friend, a former Miss World, financial journalist.
Don't let people believe you, no.
No, well, anybody will not believe that, please. So, financial journalist, founder and CEO of Money Media, Kalila Reynolds, and Jamaica's top of the top, almost the top, veteran journalist Durant Pate.
And Kalila fan favorite.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you very much for joining us this week, and I bid you all a great Sunday. I'm Rodney Campbell. Be safe, enjoy yourselves, and eat your food hot. Later.